Okay, hey guys, it's Leroy Diesel here. This is the Raptor BCD kit. I'm getting ready to show you here a little bit of a mock-up on the table here. Expecting some rain here pretty soon, so next time I get a chance, I will show you the actual installation on the truck. Right now, I'm just trying to get across the mock-up and some highlights to the kit. So here we go. Very first thing is when you get it, these mounts are designed for 5/16 bolts, and the bracket I make is designed for 3/8 because I also use it on another product. So when you get the fuel filter mount, or the base, very first thing you're going to want to do is get a 3/8 drill. Just modify these two holes. Like that, and you're done. That way a 3/8 bolt will fit through there now. And I'll show you more on the bracket in a few minutes. Second thing is the relay or the power harness that comes with them. There's a little bit of confusion there. So as this box, let me get this out of the way. As the Raptor comes, and by the way, normally this is going to drop ship directly. What you see here, right here, is going to come directly from me. And so you'll get two. Normally you're going to get two boxes when you order the Raptor BCD kit. So getting back to the harness, it comes with what I call a power harness. That would be the Raptor power harness. It's just a basic, as basic of a power harness as you can get. It's basically a ground and a power coming off of like an ignition source or something like that. That is different from my optional lift pump relay harness. This has got a heavy duty relay on it. We physically make these in house. This will give you weight to start priming on 92 to 95. 96 and newer already have it built in, but you still retain that. This also has a manual on-off button. You can turn the pump on anytime you want. And I know I'm missing a major highlight on this, but it does plug right into the original lift pump connector. Like for example, coming off your truck looks just like this, and that's what your lift pump plugs into now. When you unplug that, you're going to have this hanging off your truck, and then you'll plug this into that connector, and clearing up a little confusion there also. But this will make your pump live longer. It'll pump better. Also, it eliminates your oil pressure sensor from burning out, and lots of good things. This is probably one of my most popular sellers. I sell a lot of these. So again, it's different than the power harness that comes with the Raptor BCD kit. This is optional. You need to purchase that. It's a little further down on the page with a separate add to cart button. So get through that. So I'm sorry, unboxing. First thing you'll see is the actual, what I just called the power harness. It's basically just got a fuse and a wire, a hot wire that runs down to the pump, and a ground, and that's about it really. So really basic there. Comes with instructions, comes with hardware, nuts and bolts, all that good stuff, some zip ties. It would come with a mounting block, is what I'll call that. Some more fittings, and some of these you won't use, and some couple you're going to reuse. Extra set of O-rings in case you ever need to service the pump. The actual pump, which is a heavy duty sucker. It's heavy. Yeah, I mean, this thing, it's got a lot of heft to it. So that's your main Raptor pump. Comes with hose. And then you get two steel mounting brackets. Real heavy duty stuff. I feel like I'm never in the viewfinder. Hopefully all that was in the viewfinder. So zoom out. Yeah. Okay, so I'll show you more about the actual installation in another video that I will seam together with this one, that will show this mounted on the truck. And as far as fittings go, what you're going to get from me in the second box is going to be this filter, and it'll come with these fittings. Then in the Raptor base kit or BCD kit, you'll have these fittings. So right off, you are not going to use these 4 fittings. You will not use those. And the way that they want you to do it from Raptor is to cobble up actually 6 fittings that make you cut your original hard line, and then you got to like splice this in. It's kind of really, I don't like it at all. So that sits aside. These 2, the aluminum ones, quick disconnects, will screw directly to the pump and allow you to put these quick connect fittings on them, kind of like that. I'm not going to snap it on there. It's no problem to get it off, but it's not fun. And this is what your fuel lines right there are going to actually hook up to. You also get, in that bag I just opened up, 2 fittings like this. Those are going to screw onto the fuel filter, just like that. One will go on the inlet, and then the other side will be the outlet. In the bag of fittings you get from me, you'll get 2 of my machined, what I call FSU by 1/2 inch. So this side goes directly to the fuel sending unit. This side allows you to run 1/2 inch hose, put a little clamp on there, and you can run 1/2 inch hose. The other fitting is the same fitting, but it's actually going to reconnect after the pump back into your original hard line, which then runs up by the transmission bell housing and up to the back of your fuel filter. So that's what those are. Then this should be self-explanatory. You get the mount, and I ship it flat, so you'll need to bend this. You can see the picture on the website to see what shape this looks like. It kind of will look like a Z when you get done bending it, but you can actually bend it however you want, whatever works for you. And what you're trying to do is, get those 2 holes right there lined up, and then bend the rest of it to a point that you can mount this filter on the frame rail somewhere. This filter is going to go between the fuel tank and the pump. So as soon as you get out of the pump with the hose, you can start looking for a place to mount this. And then with the mounting bracket and everything that comes in the Raptor, you'll mount that to the frame, and then you'll just make plumbing connections from there. You're going to go from the tank, which is on this fitting, right off the FSU, straight. Let me see if I can yeah, you go from here into the inlet of the fuel filter. Then from the outlet of the fuel filter, you're going to go to the pump, and then from the pump you'll have another one of these fittings that it'll be turned around that way because it'll be pointing up towards the engine, and that makes that connection back into the pump. So hopefully that clears up a little bit of confusion. And any questions, as always, let me know. LeroyDiesel.com. You can find this on my fuel delivery page. This is one of the best upgrades you can do on a 6.5, especially 94 through 2002 6.5 diesels. 92, 93, I really don't recommend this kit, but I do have a fast system, which is very soon to be on the website, and that'll work on basically any of them, all 92 and 93, and it will also work just fine on the rest of them, so 94 all the way up. I think that's it. We'll see you on the next one, where I'll start showing you this thing installed on the truck. LeroyDiesel.com. Have a good one. Okay, just wanted to show you this one real quick. This is going to be the way you mount the brackets to the frame. And I got the two aluminum fittings, the quick disconnect fittings, snugged up. I just used a crescent wrench. Technically, you probably want to use an AN wrench, but whatever. Or just use a proper size wrench. But I found with the crescent wrench, you don't scar up the AN fittings quite as much when they're aluminum. So anyway, that's kind of beside the point. The mounting of this bracket, you'll get these 3 bolts in the bracket. What I've found is that it's best if the single bolt goes up top, and you can orient this either way. You can flip it if you need to. You can put the two bolts, 1, 2, you can put those on top of the frame rail. But what I have found works best for me, I have a 3500 crew cab truck. Yours may differ slightly, depending, like you may have a Suburban or a short bed or whatever, but in this application, this is what works for me, so I'll just tell you how it works for me. So if I'm under the truck, let's say, and that's facing outwards, and this is facing back under the truck, and I'm looking up at the frame rail this direction, what I like to do is sandwich this bracket up into the frame, and then I put this single bolt all the way across the frame, and that way that thing can kind of sit there. You see what I'm doing? And it kind of relax. I mean, you can relax both hands at that point. And then what I'll do, actually, sometimes I get ahead of myself, pardon me. So before you get to that point, what you want to do is, what I have found is this mating bracket, which I was trying to get to, but I got ahead of myself, is going to go on the inside of the frame rail. And you already see what's going on. You're pretty smart people out there. But one thing that's not quite as intuitive is you need to mount the pump first. And so if you go under there and eyeball how high you want to mount your pump, you have the choice of using this spacer block and using the longer bolts that come in the kit. In my application, I'm not going to use these because if that pump is real heavy, this is a little bit extra vibration on a longer bolt, that kind of thing. I'm sure it's perfectly fine if you want to use it. In my case, I don't need it, and so why not go directly to it, to the mount from the pump. So what I have found is, if I go to the second set of mounting holes up, then I can mount the pump to that using the shorter screws that come in the kit. So you go up here to the second set of mounting holes, and it's a 3/16 nut drive, or Allen, the tool that you'll need. And you put all 4 of those in, get them tight. Okay. Also, by going up to the second set of mounting points, you open up these bolt holes where you can get a wrench on them better. So that's mounted. That's not going anywhere. I guess if you really wanted to, you could put a little bit of Loctite or something on those threads. I don't really think it's that necessary. So then going back to this, you're going to have this, let me get it in the viewfinder, you're going to have this bracket sitting up there on the frame rail like I told you previously. It's going to be sitting there hanging off of this bolt. Then it's just a matter of matching up that bolt, putting a nut and the lock washer and the washer that's supplied in the kit. Do the same thing on the bottom too, and that sucker's mounted. Then at that point it's just a matter of mounting the lift pump pre-filter if you haven't already done it, and going through the rest of the kit kind of step by step. We'll see you on the next one. Okay, so here is the pump mounted to the frame. You can see the two bolts, right, one right here, one over there, and then the one up top right there. What I was saying earlier is you need to kind of determine where height-wise you need to mount that pump on that bracket, and then mount the pump to the bracket, because you can see that you can't get a wrench in behind there, or it would be very difficult anyway. So pre-mount that, and then kind of squiggle around here. Right there you can kind of see how when you put that bolt across the top of the frame rail, it'll support this bracket so that you can then work on that inner bracket and get the bolts in place and all of that. Also, it looks like the pinch weld or little pinch seam there on the body may have been bent out, and that was actually very helpful to slide that bolt up in there. So you may need to slightly tweak that original pinch weld right there just in front of that. Well, again, I'm working such a tight area here, pardon me. Okay, I think you see it there, right there by the head of the bolt. And that's what it looks like on the bottom. And coming back around on the inside, you can see you can get to those two bottom bolts if you mount that thing up high. You don't want to go too high because then the pump will be hitting the floorboard. That's it. Okay, so it's getting kind of dark out here. Just wanted to show you mounting of the fuel pump or fuel filter bracket, which would be this guy. And that's going to go between the tank, which you kind of see back there, right there, and the fuel pump, which is right here. So it's going to mount right about there. The bracket that I include is designed to be somewhat of a universal bracket. Let me get the light back on here. And so what I've decided to do on this one, every truck's going to be slightly different. All the frame configurations and everything, that's all seem to be different. So I found a good hole, an existing hole. Gosh, I wish it wasn't so dark. It's very hard to film this too, such cramped quarters. But I bent the bracket so that when I install the bolt there, then the fuel filter base is going to mount up there. It'll give it plenty of room so that the filter, you want to make sure the filter's not hanging below the level of the frame, because it would get knocked off if you hit something. So what I'm doing now is most of these small holes in these frames are already designed for 8 by 1.25 holes. So my tap, 8.8 millimeter by 1.25 tap, fits right in there. I didn't even have to drill a hole or anything. I just found a hole, and that's where I'm going to mount it. I'll show you what it looks like in a minute when it's installed. Okay, so that's what it looks like installed. What you're trying to do, what I'm trying to do here is I was bending the bracket so it would clear these lines. So bend it out and then back up so that the fuel filter would mount level, and that's it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually mount that bracket to the filter now. I'm going to remove it, then mount the bracket to the filter, and then I'm going to come back in here and mount that whole assembly here. And the filter, when I do it, will be unscrewed. That way I can get a wrench right there, a socket, and tighten that up real snug. And then the way that I designed it, or not like designed it, but the way that I brainstormed it in my head, was that one bolt will be fine because it can't go anywhere once it's, you know, it's not going to flip over anywhere because it's going to hit the frame up here. So you want to take that into consideration. See y'all on the next one. Okay, so that's what it looks like installed. You can see how, in this case, how you want to bend that bracket. I'm sure you could do something similar on most of the other applications. You want to, before you mount this, get your fittings Teflon taped. Get those all in there nice and secure. This one here will be the outlet, and then you'll see the inlet on the other side. Make sure you situate those accordingly before you mount it up in there. And because it's getting so dark, I have to apologize for that. I want to get this video posted, so I'm not going to show you this, but I will tell you it can be done. This fitting, the FSU to 1/2-inch hose fitting, can be installed without dropping the tank. I've done it several times, but you just got to reach up in there and with 2 wrenches unscrew the original line, and then you'll put this one on, and then put the 1/2-inch hose that's in the Raptor kit and route it down along the frame rail. Let me get some light on there. Okay, so the tank is over there. You'll route the hose up here to the inlet of the filter, and then it's really self-explanatory at that point. I'll show you one more fitting. Then the outlet of the filter comes over here to the inlet of the pump. The outlet of the pump, so tight and dark working here. That's the outlet of the pump. And then right there is another one of my FSU by 1/2-inch hose fittings. That's where you're going to reconnect back into the original hard line, which runs up to the back of the fuel filter manager. And you can also do a Feed the Beast kit on the fuel filter manager if you want to open that up a little bit, but that's a whole nother video. So from this point, it's just a matter of cutting hose to size and installing it. So I think that covers it. If you were doing the lift pump relay harness, you would have already probably installed that, and it's just a matter of plugging it in. That's a whole separate video also. So that's going to be a wrap on this one. It kind of got dark on me, so I'm sorry about that again. Any questions? LeroyDiesel.com. Go to my website. You'll see the Raptor BCD kit on my fuel delivery page. I hope you watched to the end, and if you did, like and subscribe. Even do a comment in the comment section. Hit the subscription. That helps me. And any questions, let me know. Have a good one.